Good morning, dear students. I'm Varsha and I'm here with my second video lesson on chapter Heat of Physics Class 7. I introduced this chapter in my first video only. Now let me check if you studied well with my previous video. Now get ready with your copy and pen. Here I have few questions for you. Pause the video and answer these questions. After answering, check your solutions. So the first question is, what do you mean by heat? Heat is a form of energy which causes a sensation of hotness or coldness. Next question. What is a reliable measure of the hotness or coldness of an object? A reliable measure of the hotness or coldness of an object is its temperature. What's up? Now the last question. Name the device which is used to measure the temperature of an object. The temperature of an object is measured by using a device called thermometer. Congratulations if you answer these questions correctly. Now you are ready to proceed. Let us continue the chapter. Today we are going to discuss more about heat and temperature. As we look at our surrounding, we see a large variety of things with different shapes, sizes and textures. Everything in this universe is made up of materials which scientists have named matter. The air we breathe, the food we eat, stones, clouds, stars, plants, animals, even a small drop of water or a particle of sand are made up of very small particles. They are small beyond our imagination. Even the pen which you are holding right now in your hand is made up of very tiny particles. It is not visible to you, but these particles are always in constant motion. As you can see here in these figures, the small particles, they are in constant motion. Now let us study what happens when we heat any object. When we heat any object, we provide energy to the particles of that object. We give energy to particles of that object, like here we have frying pan, and this energy makes these particles move faster. The tiny particles of objects start moving vigorously, and as a result, the temperature of the object, like here frying pan, increases. As you can see here, as the temperature is increasing, the motion of particles is also increasing. But as the temperature is decreasing down, so is the motion of particles. Now tell me, as you hold a hot cup of coffee or water for a while in hands, what do you feel? After a few moments, your palm feels warm. But why? Because the hot cup of coffee or water was at higher temperature, or in other words, it was having more heat energy, and your palm was at lower temperature. So heat energy was transferred from cup to your palm. In other words, heat energy was flowing from higher level to the lower level, and a result, temperature of your palm increased and your palm started feeling warm. Now let us discuss something about flow of heat. What is the direction of flow of heat? Heat flows from a body at higher temperature to a body at lower temperature. As you can see here, the hot cup of coffee is having higher temperature and your hand is at lower temperature, and heat is flowing from higher to lower temperature. Thus we can say that temperature decides the direction of flow of heat. Now since we have discussed so much about heat and temperature, now let us discuss about or how to differentiate between heat and temperature. Heat is a form of energy, whereas temperature is a measure of heat energy level. Heat energy raises the temperature of a body, whereas temperature decides the direction of flow of heat, which we discussed just now. Heat flows from a body at higher temperature to a body at lower temperature. Heat is measured in a unit called Joule, whereas temperature is measured in degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit or Kelvin. Now let us learn more about temperature. When we heat any object, then its temperature increases, and when we cool any object, then its temperature decreases, as you can see in the figure. Cold at 5 degrees Celsius, hot at 30 degrees Celsius. A high temperature of an object tells us that it is very hot, whereas a low temperature of the object tells us that it is quite cold. Temperature is measured by using a device called thermometer. And the thermometer, this term is derived from two Latin words, thermo and meter, where thermo means heat, meter means measuring device. A thermometer has a scale marked on it which is used to read the temperature, like you can see here in the figure. Here we have readings. Numbers are written here. Time for some extra knowledge. Latin means a language that was used in ancient Rome. Now tell me what you observe here. What are these objects? These are different scales that are used for measuring height of any object or distance. We measure height of any object in inches, centimeter, kilometer, meter, millimeter. Similarly, temperature is also measured using different scales and units. 3 temperature scales which are most commonly used are Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale and Kelvin scale. Of them, Celsius is the most common temperature scale and it is used worldwide. Now, here I will be differentiating between the two most commonly used temperature scales, Celsius and Fahrenheit scale. These scales are used in our daily life. Now suppose if you want to express the temperature of boiling hot water in degree Celsius, you are going to say 100 degrees Celsius. But if you are going to express the same temperature on Fahrenheit scale, then you are going to say 212 degree Fahrenheit. Like, if you want to express the temperature of hot summer like weather in degrees Celsius, you will say 30 degree Celsius. But the same temperature, 30 degrees Celsius, will be 85 degree Fahrenheit on Fahrenheit scale. Now, the temperature of ice is 0 degrees Celsius, whereas the same 0 degrees Celsius means 32 degree Fahrenheit on Fahrenheit scale, as you can see here. Like, 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter on meter scale. Similar is the case with the temperature scales. Now, since I told you that Celsius scale is the most commonly used scale, so we are going to study about that. Celsius scale was designed by Anders Celsius. The temperature is expressed in the unit of degrees Celsius, which is written in short form as degree C. In the unit degree C, the small circle at the top denotes the term degree and the letter C denotes Celsius. In Celsius scale of temperature, the temperature of melting ice is given a value of 0 degrees Celsius, and the temperature of boiling water or steam formed from it is given a value of 100 degrees Celsius. Now, very important point. The temperature of an object should always be stated with its unit. You cannot just say 100. Temperature of boiling hot water is 100. No, you are going to say the temperature of boiling hot water is 100 degrees Celsius. You are going to state the unit. Now, there are two types of thermometer which are used to measure temperature. First one is clinical thermometer, which we use in our daily life to measure body temperature, and the second one is the laboratory thermometer. We are going to discuss about these thermometers in detail in our next video. Now it is time for recapitulation. All materials around us are made up of very small particles, and these particles are always in constant motion. When heated, these tiny particles start moving vigorously, and as a result, the temperature of the object increases. Temperature decides the direction of flow of heat. We learned to differentiate between heat and temperature. Temperature of an object is measured with an instrument called thermometer. Thermo is a Latin word meaning heat, and meter means a measuring device. There are three temperature scales: Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, and Kelvin scale. Celsius scale is the most common temperature scale and is used worldwide. The temperature of an object should always be stated with its unit. Very important. In general, there are two types of thermometer: clinical thermometer and laboratory thermometer. Thank you.